That should be working now. I don't know why that wasn't on, but okay, cool. We're good now. We are good now. What's going on, everybody? I know no one's here, but I'm going to pretend that there's people here. Yeah, I don't usually do streams like this, but we're going to do one today because I feel like it and I want to get some shit off my chest. But first things first. Hello, everyone. If you're new to the channel, my name is Marshall DBDX, as some of you may or may not know me by. This channel is usually just a gaming channel, but for those of you who do know me, I also make content over on KH No Filter Football, where we talk about LCFC and the English Premier League a bit. So the purpose of this video is really just to get my point of view out about the FA Cup loss and my analysis about that FA Cup loss that we suffered yesterday. Usually I do these kind of videos with KH No Filter Football, but considering that they went live yesterday in the spur of the moment and I just didn't plan for that, usually we stream the day after so that our emotions can calm down. We're not saying reactionary and stupid things. Although yesterday's stream was pretty objective, there were a few things that I just didn't agree with. But that's just my opinion, and at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. But the purpose of this video is so that I can get my opinion about that game out there. That being said, if you guys don't already know, yesterday LCFC lost in the FA Cup final 1-0 to Leicester City FC. And so today, after watching the game a second time, I wanted to come at this with a more thorough, with a less reactionary analysis of the game. Also because I missed out on being able to vent out my thoughts and get this off my chest yesterday with the KH No Filter boys. Which, by the way, if you haven't already checked it out, go ahead and check out KH No Filter Football so you can go ahead and see their reaction to the game yesterday. So, yeah, yesterday's game was rough. I know some people didn't give two fucks about the fact that it was an FA Cup. Yet the same people, when we lost, were really disappointed in the fact that we lost. Which is lovely. Absolutely lovely, but whatever. At the end of the day, the way I see it is that a trophy is a goddamn trophy. And considering how young this team is, how much lack of experience the team has when it comes to performing in a final, I think we needed this trophy. And we absolutely needed this trophy. At the end of the day, if you know the owner, Roman Abramovich, he wants silverware. Doesn't matter if it's the Carabao Cup. Doesn't matter if it's the FA Cup. At the end of the day, silverware is silverware. A final is a final. And that team that we saw yesterday had a subpar for performance when it came to the final. So I'm going to just start off with the starting lineup. And I know there's no thumbnail. I know there's no tags or anything. I'm going to do that at the end just because this was improvised and I prepared as best as I could in such short notice to be able to do this on my channel. And I'm thinking that from now on, other than just gaming, from time to time, whenever I miss analysis over on KH No Filter, I'll come on here and bring on my own analysis. That way, I don't miss out. You know, you guys who do enjoy my point of view on things over on KH No Filter don't miss out on it. And I can come here by myself, unfortunately. I will be taking like Discord calls. If we go on the chat and you want to voice your opinion, towards the end of my analysis in this video, I'll go ahead and take some Discord calls. If some of you guys over from KH do see this live stream, I didn't really announce it. I didn't really like say to anyone or schedule it that it was going to be done. I just kind of wanted to just do it, you know. But I'll start off with the starting lineup. We played a 3-4-2-1 with Kepa in goal. Reece James to the right of the center back. Thiago Silva in the center back position, and Antonio Rudiger to the left of the center back. Cesar Azpilicueta as a right wing back with Marcos Alonso as a left wing back, N'Golo Kante and Jorginho in the double pivot. And for the front three, we had Ziyech to the right, Mount to the left, and Timo Werner as the lone striker. Let me go through each individual player's performance. And I'll start with Kepa. Look, Tuchel, in my opinion, did make a few mistakes with this lineup. First of all, I'm not here to scapegoat and say that, and at first I was, but when I calmed down, I realized that, you know what, it's not really Kepa's fault for the goal. You could say that if it was Mendy with the same reaction time, maybe better reaction time, he would have saved it. But to be frank with you, even if he saved it, we still scored 0 goals. So it doesn't even matter if we kept a clean sheet, because you don't win a game by scoring no goals. So with that being said, Kepa to me, he was all right. You know, he was all right. He tried his best. And there's nothing really you can do about it. You know, like, we'll get to each player, but Kepa did the best of what he could in that situation. As of lately, Kepa has been regaining a little bit of my confidence. Not a lot, a little bit of my confidence, because I feel Kepa has a more confident and not a rotating front three in front of him. It gives him a little bit of confidence. Having the competition of Edouard Mendy, who is the #1 goalkeeper on the team, in my opinion, helps him out as well. I think Kepa has been improving, and we're looking at the Kepa who we bought, not the Kepa that was performing under Frank Lampard, which is a good sign. I do want him gone regardless, because I feel like it's a lost cause with Kepa regardless of the fact. We shouldn't have bought him for the price that we bought him to begin with. It just, I don't know. We weren't thinking it was a spur of the moment. Marina really fucked it up. And in my opinion, Marina is the reason that we're even starting Kepa to begin with. I don't think Thomas Tuchel strategizes playing his not as good goalkeeper. He knows Kepa and Mendy is his #1 keeper. I don't think Thomas Tuchel puts in his tactics, put in Kepa, Kepa will benefit us. No, I think he wants to play his #1 goalkeeper. There's no proof of this, but we have already seen what it's like behind the scenes through the Athletic articles of what it was like during Lampard's reign with the political power that is going on behind the scenes with Chelsea. I don't think it's any different with Thomas Tuchel, which is why when Thomas Tuchel came in, one of my biggest concerns was going to be the board, because Thomas Tuchel in the past has had confrontations with his board members. We might be in a different situation now with Thomas Tuchel, and he may have been learned from his previous mistakes with PSG about keeping a level head with the board and being nice, but that is still a concern nonetheless, knowing his history with boards. But I do believe that there was board power and board politics having a play and a role in who plays as a goalkeeper in that team. But whatever, that's all speculation. At the end of the day, I don't blame Kepa for the reason that we lost this game. So I'm not scapegoating Kepa. On to the next player, Reece James. Now, Reece James played in a position that everyone has wanted Reece James to play in for a very, very long time, which is the right of the center back. And he did absolutely phenomenal. And the reason that Reece James played the right of the center back was because of the pace of Jamie Vardy. Now, in my opinion, other than that error, at right of center back, Reece James played an absolutely phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal game. He did the job. He kept Jamie Vardy absolutely quiet. absolutely no problems with Jamie Vardy. He was literally not even there. It was almost like he wasn't there. So, in my opinion, Reece James, other than that error, which it's so unfortunate how it happened, and later on we will talk about that handball rule. He did have an absolutely amazing performance for his first time playing at the right of center back, as far as I've seen him under Tuchel. In my opinion, though, I think Aspie. I'm not taking away from Reece James. I think Aspie would have been just fine with Jamie Vardy at the right of the center back, but I understand where Tuchel's concerns were. I think not having Reece James at right wing back stinted our ability to attack and stinted the support that the attackers had going in. And I'll get to all that soon. Thiago Silva, in my opinion, didn't do a damn thing wrong. He had a few long balls that, in my opinion, he just had a few, so it wasn't terrible. I didn't have a problem with his long balls. In fact, one of the long balls that he had led to that offside goal that Chilwell had been offside. We'll talk about that later as well. So Thiago Silva, probably one of the better players on the team. I don't have any complaints with him. Tony Rudiger. Now, defensively, Tony Rudiger, you were solid. But offensively, we saw Tony Rudiger not move forward as much as he usually does. Which, in recent games, Tony Rudiger has been being... Usually, he runs up the field and he joins in on the attack. He did it a little bit in the first half, and then towards the latter half of the first half and then the second half, he just didn't do it anymore. He just stayed in the back and he played long balls all the time. And what was frustrating me about Rudiger was that not that he played long balls, but it's how often he tried to play long balls to the point where it was wasteful. It was absolutely wasteful. This team yesterday tried to skip over the midfield more often than not. I don't know why. You have Jorginho, you have a Conte. Play through the middle. Play through the midfield. If the long ball isn't working, play through the fucking midfield. Why are you persisting on a long ball when it's very clear that Leicester City knows that Timo Werner is going to try to play in behind the ball, knows that Mason Mount is going to try to play in behind the ball, knows that Ziyech is going to try to play in behind the ball? Why are you persisting with the long ball? And it hasn't worked the first 5 times. Oh, let's try it a 6th time. That first half, up until that goal, this team was trying to fit a round piece into a square peg or a square hole. The whole time, just persisting with the long ball, persisting with the getting behind the defender strategy. Over and over and over and over again. It was so frustrating. And only when we actually did some plays through the middle of their defense did we have any opportunities. And mind you, we only tested Schmeichel twice. We only made him do 2 good saves. But it was frustrating to see Tony Rudiger constantly try to ping the ball up front, ping the ball past the defenders, try to get Timo in behind the defender, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working. Brendan Rodgers figured it out. Brendan Rodgers knew that if Timo Werner was going to play, they're going to try to get balls in behind the defender. So he adapted his strategy. He told his defense, so Yonchu, Fofana, Evans while he was there, and what was the other guy's name? Castagna. Yeah, Castagna had to come back. And Thomas. He told those defenders, hey, look, don't let these players get in behind you. And they did it. They absolutely did it. They nailed us on the defensive side of their turf. We kept their attack quiet. They also kept our attack quiet. So that was my only frustration with Antonio Rudiger. Bro, you were playing fine before, not trying to do the long ball all the time. I'm sure Tuchel was also persisting with that strategy. I'm sure it was his idea. But come on, Thomas. If it doesn't work the first time, adapt your strategy. You know this. You know this. You absolutely know this. Maybe he went in the second half and said that to them, but it was just so frustrating to see how often they would try to do the long ball being behind the defender, and it just didn't work out. The majority of the game was that. Not just with Rudiger. By the way, it happened a few times. When I'll get to that. On to the next player, Aspie. Aspie, in my opinion, he played a fair game, but this is the thing about Aspie, a right wing back. Very solid defensively, but when it comes to attacking, not nearly as good as Reece James. Not nearly as good as Reece James. Which is why before, when we were talking about Reece James, I said, I think if you had Aspie at the right of the center back and just Reece James at the right wing back, we would have been fine. I know Vardy's got pace, but I don't think Aspie's that slow. I think Aspie can keep up with Jamie Vardy. But and then again, I don't know these things. I don't study the game like Thomas Tuchel does. I'm sure what he did is fine, and I don't even blame that little swap as being the main falter as to why we lost. It does contribute to the attack, but I don't think that's the main reason we lost because of Reece playing in the right of center back. I'd sound ridiculous if I said that. But other than that, I think Aspie did fine. Aspie was solid. Again, typical Aspie, 7 out of 10 performance. He wanted it. And to be honest, most of the experienced players on this team had a solid performance. I'm not even joking. Probably the lowest performance of all the experienced players here is... I'm probably going to have to give it to Marcos Alonso. But even he didn't have... He was like Aspie. I'm moving on to Marcos Alonso. He was like Aspie. Was pretty solid defensively, but didn't really provide much in the attack. Again. And I think if we had a look at the analysis of this game as the formation as a whole, when your left wing back and your right wing back aren't providing in the attack, you're left with Ziyech, Mount, and Werner up against 5 defenders. And it didn't help. It didn't help. You wonder why our attack looks so bad and lackluster and we didn't really create anything and you just didn't do shit. It's because Brendan Rodgers defended against us better than we attacked them. It's true. It's true. It was a very boxy game, but it's because I think both managers played defensively, which is why Aspie was in right wing back, in my opinion. He wasn't there for attack. He's there for defense. Marcos Alonso, not the best defender, but he did a job. He defended. The goals, and there wasn't really many opportunities that came from his side. I can't even blame Marcos Alonso for the bad performance. I mean, he did what we was supposed to do. I would have much preferred Chilwell because Chilwell gives you the same defense, but more attack output. And I think Thomas Tuchel, again, this is where he got it wrong. You play Chilwell, or he doesn't play Chilwell because he's nervous that Chilwell is not going to be able to perform with the Leicester City fans booing him. This is what I mean. Like he sometimes it's like kind of what Pep Guardiola, right? He overthinks it. I think we have the same situation with Thomas Tuchel, where he might be overthinking it. But yeah, it was said somewhere, I don't remember where, that the reason Thomas didn't play Chilwell was because he was worried about the fans getting to Chilwell's head. Which, okay, I can see where you're coming from with that, dude, but the man's a professional. The man knows he's playing this game. Like, I'm sure he's aware. I'm sure he's one of the older guys of the young bunch. I'm sure he knows. And I'm sure he can handle it. And mind you, like I'll get to the crowd later, but god damn it, I almost feel like it was just Leicester fans at the game. Like, what the hell happened? But anyways, we move Okay. To the midfield. N'Golo Kante. World class performance. N'Golo Kante was amazing. He was solid. He was absolutely solid. I can't complain about N'Golo Kante. Not one bit. He was so damn solid. Literally an N'Golo Kante performance. N'Golo Kante showed up. He showed up to win. And you know what? That's the mentality you get when you have a World Cup winner. The guy who won the league with Leicester before. The guy who's won multiple trophies. Along with Jorginho, by the way. Jorginho also. Solid performance for the most part. My only complaint with Jorginho is that for the Tielemans goal, I'm not... Look, it's all speculation, and from the angle you're watching it from, it seems like he's not that far away and could have made a tackle or could have made an attempt to stop the long shot. But I don't know. We're watching it from one angle. It probably looks different there on the pitch. But you see Jorginho being what looks like close enough to pin down Tielemans and stop the attack. But then again, it's on a turnaround or a turnover, whatever the term is. Reece made the error. Everyone's caught in their positions. And N'Golo Kante wasn't even there. N'Golo Kante was higher up the pitch because he was getting ready for the attack. In transition, that's what the term is. So they caught them in transition, and you see Jorginho pointing to Tielemans, him telling someone, mark him, when from my angle, it looks like he's the closest one. Just go at him. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to pin it on Jorginho either. Like, I'm not scapegoating Jorginho. That error should have just not happened to begin with. Reece, you should have just passed it to Aspie instead of trying to pass it to N'Golo, who was in between, who was in front of Perez. I think that the guy was Perez that the ball hit. He was in front of Perez. So I don't know what Reece James was thinking. He should have passed it to Aspie or just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. But because he doesn't pass it to Aspie, Perez gets in there with what is questionably a handball, which we will talk about later. And passes, then the pass, I don't know who passes it to Tielemans, but Tielemans get the ball. Jorginho's watching or telling someone to get him. I don't know if Jorginho can get there. It looks like he could, which if he could, Jorginho, you should have been on him quicker. Even if it's in transition, you just got to quickly adapt to that situation and stop Tielemans from taking the shot. Thiago Silva tried, but Thiago Silva looked like he was further away. Like when Jorginho said someone marked or someone stopped the shot, Thiago Silva immediately responded and tried to go forward, but it was too quick. I think Jorginho would have done better by just getting there himself instead of asking someone else to get there. But at the end of the day, I'm not on the pitch. I don't know how much space is between them, and it doesn't matter because regardless, we don't score a goal, we don't fucking win the game. So the pivot to me was fine. The double pivot was fine. It was nice to see Jorginho and Kante play again because we've been seeing a lot of Gilmore, Kante, Gilmore, Jorginho, but they did fine. They did fine. I will come back to the midfield afterwards, but we move on to the best part of this video, which is the fucking attack. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to start off with the main guy that I have defended so fucking much, only for him to have one of the performances that I complained about earlier in the season and just make a fool out of me, which is Hakim Ziyech. Okay. Now, hindsight is 2020, and had we been down 1-0 and Ziyech wasn't starting, I say put on Ziyech. Why? Because this man, whether you like this opinion or not, I don't really give a fuck. Ziyech, when there is a low block team, Ziyech has time on the ball. Ziyech gives you pinpoint passing and creativity. And he breaks apart low blocks. Now, Ziyech in this game, fucking horrendous. Absolutely terrible. Ziyech had another one of those performances where he just looked like he couldn't be bothered. Like, there was so many times where I'm watching this game and I'm like, Ziyech, why aren't you running on that? Why aren't you trying to dispossess the ball? Why aren't you putting pressure? Why aren't you trying to mark the man? Like, he would literally tell Timo to go make the run. Like, how fucking lazy do you have to be, dude? This is the fucking FA Cup final. Make the runs. Get there. Get into spaces. Fucking do something. Don't just stand around and watch the ball. Like, I've seen Ziyech have performances where he actually tries to put pressure on the player, where he actually tries to win the ball. He actually makes some tackles sometimes and wins them. That wasn't there today or yesterday. It wasn't there yesterday at all. Ziyech had a shocking fucking performance. And as much as I want to say Ziyech should have stayed on the pitch and Timo should have been the first one off, I can't even defend it that much because Ziyech was so fucking poor, even I would have taken him off. I don't blame Tuchel for taking Ziyech off at all. He was so bad. He was terrible. He wasn't doing shit. He had a few moments that, look, let's get it right. The Leicester City defense, they were fucking solid. They were Fofana looked like an experienced fucking defender for France, dude. Fofana had like a Kimpembe level performance. Fofana was fucking fantastic. And let me tell you something about Fofana, man. Fofana had one job, which was to mark Timo Werner that whole entire game, and he fucking did it. Here we go, Slens.
Does not offer pinpoint
shit. I didn't mean
more of a volume player rather than
I meant
efficient.
to turn that
To
off.
his credit, he tries the risky ball more than anyone else, but we needed efficiency yesterday. Pizza is yummy.
Alright, let me turn you guys off because I don't want this to be on the video. But yeah, I'm going to read your comments, no worries. But yeah, Ziyech was terrible yesterday, man. I can't defend it. I can't. After watching that game, it was terrible. It was absolutely fucking terrible. When he had the ball, there was some moments where he tried to make the creative pass and the dangerous pass, but the defense was just on it. Like the same way that our defense just shuts down attacks, they did the same thing to us. They did the same fucking thing to us. And Ziyech, terrible. You didn't step up, man. It's a fucking final. Like, get this idea out of your head that it's Leicester City and that you're Chelsea and then you're better. And it's just like, no. You play every single fucking game like it's the final of the fucking Champions League. Like, get your fucking head out of your ass, Ziyech. Like, these performances by Ziyech are the ones that frustrate me the most. I said it after the Man United game. Ziyech looks like he can't be bothered, and it fucking pisses me off when he plays like this. Recently, I've been defending him because recently he's been making the effort. He's been making the runs. He's been making the tackles, making the dangerous passes, or trying to make the dangerous passes. Being more accurate on his ball, being more creative, being more attack-minded. He's been better. But this performance was just a regression to the Ziyech of old, which is the one that just doesn't fucking give a shit about the game, won't grab it in the game by the scruff of the neck, and won't perform. So it pissed me the fuck off. And as much as I said yesterday, like, Ziyech probably should have stayed on because they ended up playing low block, I don't even know if I can defend that point anymore. Just because, what the fuck? He didn't do anything the whole game. Why should you stay on the game? Why should you stay on the pitch? You didn't do shit the whole fucking game. You had all game to try to be more involved, and you didn't do it. So why the fuck should you stay on the pitch? So I get it. Tuchel, I don't really blame you for doing that sub. I would have prioritized Werner first, but Ziyech also deserved to come off. Ziyech also deserved to come off. I can't talk. All right, I'm moving on to Timo. I'll leave him out for last. Moving on to Timo. I'll mod you in a bit, Winter Surfer. Actually, I could probably mod you right now. Timo. I defended this fucker. Another one that I defended. Because although he's not scoring goals, he was creating plays, getting in there, making assists, making things happen, but just yesterday, not there at all. Even Werner, I don't know what happened between this link up play between Ziyech and Werner, this chemistry, it was a dream. It was a dream because it wasn't there at all. It wasn't there at all. The amount of times that Ziyech would try to find Timo and Timo would try to find Ziyech and then the ball just gets intercepted. It wasn't there. Nah, it was a fucking dream. There's no chemistry between the two of them. They were both as bad as the other. Timo also looked like he couldn't be bothered. Even though you had an extra days of rest, you also looked like you couldn't be fucking bothered. Like, the amount of times that Timo would just be walking instead of trying to put pressure on or forcing an error out of the defense of Leicester City. It's just nothing. Just nothing. Timo didn't want to really play. Even that little cross that Thiago Silva had to Timo, that Timo headed it. Like, I don't know what it is in this guy's head that he feels the need to score any opportunity that's there. Sometimes you just got to leave it. And Aspie had the better position. Timo, you're not gonna head the ball in unless it's like the same exact situation as the Real Madrid game. But he persists on trying to jump for the ball and head it, and Fofana, being the defender he fucking is, got in his way and didn't really give him the proper momentum. It was a better ball for Aspie. Look, I'm not going to get into analysis and like be like, oh, you should have known better. Like, no, it happens. He's fucking human. All these players are human. At the end of the day, they're fucking human. So, like, I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh, you should have played perfectly, a perfect game. These are your stats, da-da-da. You have 71 pace. Why didn't you run faster? Like, no, that's fucking bullshit. At the end of the day, these players are players. They have mentalities. They have mental blocks. It's just... Maybe, Timo, look before you try to make an effort and see who's in a better position. Or look before and see where everyone is, and I don't know. But you leave that ball, Aspie has a better chance of heading it, and maybe we're 1-0 in before the half. But Timo's performance yesterday was shocking, man. Shocking. Just didn't feel like he was up to it either. And then on to Mason Mount. Now, of all the players on this team, I think most of us expected Mason Mount to step the fuck up. And he didn't. Mason Mount, you were in this team last year when we lost that final to Arsenal. You don't remember the pain of that loss? You don't remember what it's like to perform in a final? This kid, when he's good, he's fucking good. And I think everyone on the panel, the KH No Filter panel, has said this before. When he's good, he's fucking good. He can be a world-class player when he gets older. But yesterday, dude, you need to make better decision-making on the ball. You really do. There's so many opportunities that I saw with Mason Mount and Conte where it was just like a quick 1-2, but there's just a one because Mason would hold on to the ball, overthink it, see if he can make a shot, have fucking dinner, eat his pasta, have some dessert, take a shower, and then he decided to play the ball to fucking in Conte. But at that point, it's not even a dangerous play anymore. Everyone's all the defense is all organized and shit, and everyone's marked. This kid needs to learn how to be quicker in the decision making, and he knows it. He fucking knows it. The amount of times he got dispossessed when he had the ball because he's trying to think about who to pass it to, it was fucking frustrating. Frustrating as shit. Now, of all of our attackers, Mount gets the least flack from me because he did have opportunities to score. Just didn't. He had the clearest opportunity to score. With the half volley and Schmeichel full stretch fucking saving it. Fucking Kasper Schmeichel had a fucking world-class performance yesterday. Even though it was only 2 fucking saves. 2 saves! That's all the attack managed to make Schmeichel do. 2 saves, 2 shots on goal. Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, I mean, Mason Mount couldn't break apart from Soyuncu. He couldn't. And you know what? Kudos to Brendan Rodgers. Kudos to Brendan fucking Rodgers. He told that defense, Fofana, get on Werner. Soyuncu, you're on Mount. And they fucking did a job. And Soyuncu, don't get me wrong, Soyuncu had it fucking hard. Soyuncu couldn't always keep up with Mount, but he had backup. But Mount did the best he could against Soyuncu, but he just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. That defense was well organized. They knew how to play and stop and nullify the attack. They knew. They knew. Brendan Rodgers didn't get it wrong this time. They fucking knew. Don't let them fucking play. I think Brendan Rodgers, this is so fucking hilarious. And now that Arsenal loss is worse as a result. I think Brendan Rodgers watches that Arsenal game, sees how Mount is completely nullified that game, and he takes out his little fucking notepad and his little fucking pen and he takes notes and he fucking puts it on the next game. Jesus fucking Christ. They did a job. That defense, that Leicester City defense did a fucking job. Man for man, they're not as good as our defense. But when you tell them to do a job, they do it. They do it. Complete. Exactly, Slens. It was box to box. It was a defensive game. And because of a wonder goal, it changes the whole thing. Even Tuchel admits it. We got unlucky. That goal doesn't happen. This game is still 0-0 all the way to penalties. But yeah, that the midfield, it was us. We dominated that midfield. But even though we dominated that midfield, why are we persisting with long balls? Why are we persisting to play in behind the fucking defenders when it's not fucking working? It's not working. Tuchel. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm making this comparison. Yesterday's tactics prior to that fucking goal was as persistent as fucking Lampard doing cross inshallah. It really was. Like, you might as well have gone back to Lampard tactics. For 65 minutes, you got Rudiger, Conte, Jorginho, James, and even Silva at times. Play the long ball. Play the long ball. Let Timo get in behind the defender. Let Ziyech get in behind the defender. Ziyech didn't even bother to run sometimes. Let Mount get in behind the defender. It didn't fucking work. It didn't work the first half. What makes you think persisting the second half is going to make it work? Rodgers fucking knew. Don't let Timo get in behind you. That's why Fofana was on him the whole fucking game. He couldn't get past Fofana. Not once. Not once. The kid's 21 years old. And Soyuncu, one of the more experienced people on the back of that defense, was on Mason Mount the whole fucking game. I watched it twice. I had to go through it. And I saw how much of a masterclass of a performance Fofana had. We made Wesley Fofana look like a world-class defender. Because we persisted on long balls over the defense. So yeah, the strategy that Tuchel came out with didn't work out. Tuchel got it wrong. I hate to say it. I hate to say it because I fucking love Tuchel. But he got it wrong. When it came to the attack, he got it wrong. For the most part, our team, other than the attacking three, we were great. They got lucky with the fucking goal yeah, they got lucky because Reece James had the error. And Telemans has a fucking boot. No, that's the thing though. It's not punishment for me because, to be honest, I want to know why this fucking team lost. This team is good enough. I want to know why we can't beat a Leicester City. We can beat a Man City. Why can't we beat Leicester City? And I'm not like some bitch. I'm not going to pussy out and be like, oh, it hurts to watch. Oh my God, my feelings. No. I take it on the fucking chest. I take it like a man. That's why I'm here doing a fucking analysis. And that's why I'm here admitting that Brendan Rodgers got the better of Tuchel. I hate to admit that shit, but I can admit it. It was fucking frustrating, man. That defense, that Leicester City defense. And you know what? Kudos to fucking Leicester City. Congratulations. You played a fucking good game. You defended well. You did what you had to do to win the game. Overall, we were the better team because we were attacking more and we had, I guess, more chances than Leicester did. Because let's just get it right. Our defense, player for player, is actually better than Leicester's defense, player for player. But even with the lesser players, they did a job. And kudos to Leicester and Brendan Rodgers for playing the way they did. They shut down our attack. And I'm tired of hearing this whole notion that, oh, we lost to Leicester FC. Come on, it's Leicester. Put some fucking respect on Leicester City FC. Stop making our team look worse than it is by trying to belittle Leicester City FC. They're a top 6 team. I know the old school fans, me, myself included, don't like this idea of, aren't comfortable with the idea that another team could possibly come up and be part of the top 6. West Ham being one of those teams. But it's fucking happening. Leicester City aren't going to get relegated anytime soon. They're here to stay. They're a top 6 team, whether you like it or not. So you play Leicester City like you would play a Man United. You play Leicester City like you would play a fucking Man City. They're a formidable side. So put some respect on fucking Leicester City, please. They're not fucking Sheffield. So let's stop acting like they're fucking Sheffield and pretending like we lost to a Sheffield. That's more embarrassing to me if you ask me. Take it on the chest. You lost to a better side. And technically, they are better than us because they're 3rd place and we're 4th place on the league table. You don't get to 4th place by being shit. So put some respect on Leicester City, man. Kudos to them. We had 2 shots on goal. And Kasper Schmeichel stepped up when he's had to. We had 2 shots on goal, man. 2 shots on goal. The whole game. 90 minutes, 2 shots on goal. And those 2 shots on goal came when we finally decided to stop fucking trying to do the ball over the top and play through the middle and play through our midfield like we should have been doing after the 45 minutes when we realized the long balls and getting in behind the defenders isn't fucking working. It's frustrating, man. Frustrating. Hindsight being 2020, Pulisic should have played. Pulisic should have been there. And maybe Kai Havertz should have been playing. Even though Kai Havertz had a shocking performance against Arsenal. Which is why I understand why maybe Tuchel didn't play him, because this kid didn't play well against Arsenal. Maybe Timo will step up. Well, that didn't happen. Timo did not step up. It's easy to say Kai Havertz should have played now that the game is over. But maybe he should have just started. Maybe he should have just started with Kai Havertz. Or maybe he should have brought on Kai Havertz at the half. That's the other thing too. Tuchel, why? You know this game isn't going anywhere. Even before the goal, guys. You know this game isn't going anywhere. Why not make the change at the halftime like you do usually? You have 5 subs, dude. You have 5 subs. Make the change. Inject some energy in this. Take off Ziyech. Take off Werner. Do something. Or take off Marcus Alonso. Put on Chilwell. Because you see that your wingbacks aren't providing enough attack. Why did you keep persisting with this when it wasn't working? It was clear as day that Brendan Rodgers had told his defense, don't let the attackers get in behind you. Were you hoping on an error? Is that how you win games? Hope that the team makes a mistake? I thought you were a tactician, dude. I thought you wanted to win games with tactics, not by errors. So what the fuck are you doing persisting with the same fucking formation or the same tactics after the half when the game is as dead as fucking nails? Make the change sooner, dude. Why are you waiting until we get scored on or we concede a goal to make a change? Brendan Rodgers was making changes before that goal was going on. James Madison was going to come on for Iheanacho before that goal happened. You reacted. Pulisic should have been on there. At the half, Ziyech or Werner should have been off and Pulisic should have been in there. I don't know about Kai Havertz. I can't really defend Kai Havertz because Kai Havertz had a shocking performance against Arsenal. So in that time, when we were watching the game, I wouldn't have said bring on Kai Havertz. I would have said bring on Pulisic. Because I can't trust Kai Havertz right now because he had a abysmal performance against Arsenal. Why didn't you make the same change sooner? And, okay. Later on in the game, he brings on Chilwell. We take off Marcus Alonso, who wasn't providing much in the attack. He was good defensively, but Chilwell can be good defensively as well and provide you in the attack. I think Tuchel got that wrong. And he gets the goal, and it's ruled offside. In my opinion, from the moment that I saw that play, I knew it was offside. I knew it. You could see that his shoulder is ahead of Soyuncu's back, or his Soyuncu's right shoulder, whatever. And in my opinion, because I know everyone's talking about why is it offsides? It shouldn't be offside unless it's part of the body that plays the game. I'm sorry to tell you, your shoulder, you could play balls off your shoulder and it's not a handball. It was offside. There's no gray area. It was black and white. It was offside. So even if we were playing with these new rules that people want to implement about it should only be offside if it's part of the playing body. So it shouldn't be offside if your hand is ahead, like a Bamford offside it was called earlier in the season. It shouldn't be offside if it's your hand that's offside or arm, whatever. Even with that rule implied, the shoulder is a playable part of the a player's physique that you can use to play ball. It's still offside. Now, my biggest gripe is with this rule of handball, and it's not just me. The Taylor Twellman and the other announcers that I listened to while watching the game were saying, and it is a controversial thing, is that Reece James makes that error and it hits Perez's arm. Now, it hits Perez's body part before it hits his arm, which makes it not a handball or not intentional, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that because it hits Perez's arm, it gives Leicester City an advantage. It gives them, the way that the ball went, it went to their possession. It put the ball in an area that benefited Leicester City. And before we go on, I'm not blaming this game on a handball that wasn't called, on Kepa, on anyone. We should have been better organized in that instance. We should have been better on the transition. Whatever. But the fact that because it gives them an advantage, it's not supposedly a handball, I think that's bullshit. The rule should be that if the ball hits your hand, regardless if it hits your thigh, your head, your mouth, your lips, whatever the fuck, regardless of where it hits you first before it hits your hand, if it gives you an advantage, it should be considered a handball or a foul. If it doesn't give you an advantage, then fuck off with it. But the thing is, it gave Leicester City an advantage. It put the ball into play for Telemans to make that fucking shot. So how do you not even call a foul for that? How is that not even disputed or checked up with VAR or spoken about with the referee? The referee couldn't even be bothered. He just listened to VAR and said, all right, cool. How? It gives them a clear advantage. You're watching the game. You saw how the handball led to that goal. How is that not something? I know the rules say it's not a handball if it fucking hits off your thigh, but the rule should also state that if it hits off another body part, then hits your hand, but then gives you an advantage, it should still be considered a handball or a foul. But whatever. I'm not here to put the fucking game on the fucking handball. And at the end of the day, even if that goal doesn't happen, we still score no goals. And I move on to another part of this. The problem that I have with this game is that, okay, even if the defense of Leicester City nails down our attack, shuts down our attack, this is why I say we need another midfielder. This is why I say, although it doesn't help that much, why I say we need another CDM, but people on Cage No Filter have said we need another creative attacker or a creative midfielder. It's okay. I didn't tell anyone I was streaming because I didn't fucking really feel like it. I just wanted to get this over with. The thing about our midfield that I want to point out is that in games like this, where our attack doesn't work, we have no midfield to back up the attack. Our midfield is strictly defensively and strictly defense, interceptions, passes, creativity. There's no attack in the midfield. There's no Lampard. There's no Ballack. There's no one that could come in and be like, all right, Drogba, Maluda, Cole, whoever's playing the game. If they're not firing, there's no one in that midfield that can just step up and be like, I got this. Let me take a few attempts. Let me add to the attack. There's no one. Even Kovacic. Even if Kovacic is playing, he's not an attacker. He'll try some balls from now and again, but he's not an attacker. Even Gilmore. We don't have an attacking CDM. We don't have a Casemiro that can take long shots. We don't have a Kimmich that'll try to take some attacks. We don't have that backup. We don't. And it just, when we don't have that kind of a midfielder, when there are games where our attack gets shut down because a team plays a proper defense and organizes well against us tactically, we don't have someone that can come into the game, help the attack. Supposedly that's supposed to be the wing backs, but Reece James is not ready for that. He just puts in crosses. Every now and again he takes shots, but we didn't do that yesterday because he was playing right as a center back, and Aspie isn't that type of player either. And you could say Chilwell does that, but he didn't play yesterday either. Chilwell didn't play yesterday either when he should have. I don't care if the fans boo you. Chilwell, you're a professional. You could overcome that, and I'm sure he agreed with me. So yeah, I mean, we need another midfielder. I think this, for me, even pushes more my agenda of that I want a Kessie. Because when you see Frank Kessie play, or maybe a Locatelli, I haven't seen Locatelli play, but if Locatelli attacks sometimes, then by all means, add Locatelli to that. Add a Zakaria to that. Maybe adds Declan Rice to that, but I don't know. To my opinion, Declan Rice is more and more for the 4-3-3. For a proper CDM that can play a single pivot. But if you add a Frank, I guarantee you, if instead of Conte or Jorginho, if there's a Frank Kessie in that lineup, or if there's a Locatelli or whoever can fucking shoot a ball from distance, a Casemiro or Kimmich, I guarantee you that attack would have looked a lot different. When your 3 attackers up against the 5 defenders of Leicester City can't get anything done, you have someone like a Lampard that comes into that game and tries something else, adds to the attack, comes into the middle, takes shots from distance. We didn't even have shots from distance. We had 2, 3, and all of them were to fucking Rosette. The closest one was like, what, maybe Mounts in the first half. It just solidifies the fact that we need a midfielder. We do need clinical attackers. It's just like, it's literally, we still need so much. It's crazy how we bought so many players, $200 million or pounds worth of players, and we still need backup. We still need players. Bring on the more experienced players. The guys at KH No Filter said it so right yesterday. I am done praising these kids that haven't won shit. I'm done defending Ziyech. I'm done defending Mount. I'm done defending Havertz. I'm done defending Werner, Reese. All these inexperienced players didn't perform yesterday. They didn't have the minerals to outwit that defense of experienced players. And Fofana. We made Fofana look like a fucking world-class defender. And don't get me wrong, the kid's fucking great. The kid's fucking got the spunk. But Werner should have gotten the better of Fofana. Next season, we need another winger. Because, let's get it right, Hudson-Odoi isn't playing that well. Ziyech has been fucking underwhelming. And if he plays like this going forward, I want him out in the fucking winter transfer window. I'll give you half a season to prove yourself and get this whole idea that, okay, I need a season to adapt. But if you don't fucking step it up, Ziyech, in the first half of next season, I want you out, bro. I don't want any more of these I can't give a fuck about you performances. They piss me the fuck off. When I see those performances, when I see the Zuma giving up on the fucking goal and the attack and the defense kind of plays, but I see them in the attacking end as well, it makes my blood boil, man. Especially when I'm cheering you on and I see it the second time and I realize how much of a clown I fucking looked like. We need another winger. Pulisic is injury prone, as far as we know. Ziyech has been underperforming for the most part this season. I'll give him credit. He did okay for the last 5 games. I went from good to okay because now I'm fed up with him. Hudson-Odoi has been underperforming. He's just not ready. Kid's like, what? 12 years old. He's not ready. That leaves us with what? Mount in the wing? Those are all 3 of our wingers, by the way. So don't fucking tell me we don't need a winger. We need a fucking winger. Bring me Sancho. Bring me Pedro Neto. Bring me someone. Bring me a winger. Please. And get me a striker. Because Werner, I am sorry, bro. We need someone who's clinical, and I don't want to wait for you anymore, man. I don't. I'm losing my fucking patience with Werner, man. As much as I defend you, as much as I see that you do contribute to the attack more than a Torres, more than a fucking Morata, and I don't give a fuck what you think about those players. When we brought them in to score goals as well, they also didn't fucking score the goals. We need players that can come in and be clinical when we need them to be clinical. Bring in Haaland, bring in Kane, bring in whoever the fuck. Iheanacho. Anyone. I don't care. Just bring in someone who's clinical. Please. Lukaku. If we can't get Haaland, let's get Lukaku. If we can't get Lukaku, then I don't know. Maybe don't bring anyone because I don't want to waste money on players that are maybes. Maybe they'll be good. Maybe they'll be clinical. Maybe they'll fit into the team. I want proven players. And this whole Morata, Torres, they were great for the team. They did more. No. If we're going to be talking about Werner and bringing him over for goals, It's the same thing that goes for Torres, for Morata. We brought them here for goals. And guess what? Torres ended up being a bench player because Drogba took his spot. And I can't speak much for Morata, but from what I've seen from Morata, he was pretty shit too. He had some good goals in him, but that's it. He just had goals. Same thing with Torres. Torres had great goals in him, but did Torres help a Maluda or an Anelka or all these other players score more goals? No, he was just there for goals. That's my analysis of the game, guys. I didn't expect people to show up. I didn't expect people to show up at all, but you did, and I appreciate it. I didn't announce it. This is improvised. This was last minute. This was more so, I didn't get a chance to really express myself yesterday's stream because I wasn't on it and I had to do stuff and it wasn't planned. Usually I plan to be unoccupied the day after games so we can do streams, but the boys couldn't help themselves and they wanted to react to the game immediately. I came at this as level-headed as I could come at it. I came at it watching the game twice so that I can make sure my analysis is as accurate as possible. And I came at this as a level head because I don't want to go ahead and fucking say stupid shit, which happens when I'm immediately in the zone. But that's why we lost the FA Cup, guys. That, in my opinion, from my observation of watching this game twice and really closely the second time, that's why we lost the FA Cup. Our attack's just not good enough to break away an organized defense. There's no creativity, or there was no creativity in that attack. It was just the same old try to get in behind a defender over and over and over again. And it wasn't working. And once we went 1-0 down, that's when they decided to stop doing that tactic, play through the wingbacks, try to get through the middle, cross the ball a few times. Just that's when the creativity started happening. It was terrible, guys. Hopefully, this is a fucking huge wake-up call to the players. Huge wake-up call. Because we're going to play them again Tuesday. And what did I say in my preview stream of the Leicester game with KH No Filter Football? I said that if we win this game, it's going to get into the minds of Leicester City. Well, quite the opposite happened. We lost the game, and now it's on the players' heads. Now it's in the players' heads. So now this season, the last 3 games of this season get even fucking harder. Even fucking harder. This team has a lot to prove. A lot to fucking prove. And for any of the Chelsea players, if I was in that locker room and I was Thomas Tuchel, I would tell them, remember this fucking feeling. Don't fucking forget this feeling that you lost the final, an FA Cup final. Don't you dare fucking forget the feeling. Because if you lose that Champions League, it's gonna be fucking worse. So if you don't want to fucking feel this feeling again, go on that fucking pitch. Run that extra mile. Make that extra tackle. Put that pressure on the defender or the attacker. Make that extra fucking effort. Because if you do, I guarantee you, we can come out with a result for this game. We have Leicester City, Aston Villa, and Man City left this season. Man City is the Champions League, and we have to get top 4. Play like it's the fucking final of the Champions League. Play like it's your fucking life on the line. Remember this fucking feeling. Because if you lose again, it's going to be worse. And if you don't want to feel this feeling, play your fucking heart out. But guys, that's my analysis of the game. That is why we lost the FA Cup. let's hope that Tuesday, when we play Leicester City, we can come out with a result. Aston Villa next after that. Let's get the result. Let's get this top 4. Let's nail it, and then let's focus on Champions League. If you want to follow my content, make sure you hit the subscribe button on this video right here. Hit the like button, which you guys already have. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. 9 likes. That's fucking phenomenal. Make sure you check out the boys at Cage No Filter Football. I usually do commentary there, but if I ever miss commentary, there's a chance I'm going to do the commentary here on my side of the video, on my YouTube. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button on my video. I'll go on Discord right after this. Hit the subscribe button on this video. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Check out my Twitch as well. Same name, MarshallDBDX. And then head on over to Cage No Filter. Subscribe to them. Hit the like button on some of their videos. I usually do commentary on them, but I'm telling you guys right now, if I ever miss commentary on Cage No Filter, depending on the game, if it's that important, if I have a lot to say, I'll come over on this channel. I'll do analysis over on this channel. And yeah, guys, we'll be streaming again tonight at midnight UK time. No, I'm sorry. 5 a.m. UK time, 12 a.m. my time over here on the East Coast of the United States of America. But yeah, make sure you stick around for later. We'll be streaming Resident Evil 8 back to our regularly scheduled programming. And yeah, make sure you check out my band Back Pocket Alimony on YouTube, on Spotify, over on Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. That's all I have to say today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening.